If you want your Instagram stories to go from looking like this, kind of boring, not very moody, not really a theme or an aesthetic to it, to looking like this, darker, more aesthetic, moody, has a theme, kind of has a niche, looks great, then in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that by only using your iPhone, no desktop required. And it's going to do this in probably 2 or 3 minutes per photo. It takes literally probably less than that once you get good at it. No time at all to get these ready, post it onto your Instagram story and looking like a pro. But before I get into that, I do want to mention I do have a 100% free Discord server where you can join. It's for creators only. It's for anyone who's interested in editing photos, editing Instagram reels, stuff like that. We have an area in there where you can submit your Instagram reels. People will critique them, say what's good, what's not, what needs to be fixed, all that kind of stuff. It's a very positive area. So if you want to join that, it's the first link in the description down below. So without further ado, let's jump into my phone here. I'm going to be walking you through exactly how I edit these photos for my Instagram stories. So we are in my phone here now. And before I show you exactly how to edit your photos so they look super moody, super aesthetic right in the iPhone photo editor app, so I want to show you how I take the photos in the camera first so you can kind of save yourself some time when it comes to editing, because it can be a bit tricky to edit a photo correctly if the photo wasn't taken correctly. So first things first, let's look at how I would take them. So let's open up my photo app here, and I'm in video right now, but as you can see, I'm pointing this at the camera, and you can tell right away that my phone is taking pretty dark photos already. You can see in the top left area, I guess my screen is recording, but you can see top left up there, it says -1. So basically what I have preset on my phone is the exposure. I have it dropped down a little bit lower so the photos are taken a little bit darker. If I swipe up from the bottom, you'll see these little things pop up at the bottom here. So what you want to do is click this plus minus thing, and it's going to bring up this exposure thing. And if I slide this, you'll see it gets a lot brighter. By default, it's going to be at 0. But if I slide it down to -1, it's going to make it by default a lot darker, which in turn is going to make it a lot easier for us to edit the photos. So now that you know that, and you have the dark exposure, let's go into editing the photos so you can get them looking nice and aesthetic for your stories on Instagram. So I'll do this for 2 photos here. I'm in my camera roll. Let's start with this one. I took this photo kind of light. The exposure was already dropped down. I was just in a store with really bright lighting, so it was already bright even though it was already at -1. But anyways, I'll show you guys how I walk through my process of editing these photos and making them a little bit more aesthetic when I post them onto my stories. So I'm gonna click the photo and I'm gonna go edit top right, and it's gonna bring you all of these things. Obviously this is an iPhone only tutorial. I don't think Androids probably have their own editing in their photos, but this one is iPhone specific. First thing I do with all of my photos, even though they're already at -1, I'm gonna make them darker. That's just my style. So I'm gonna go like this and drop it down probably to around, this one's pretty bright. So I'm going to drop this down to -58. Sure. As you can see, when I do that, it does make it darker, but the contrast is still, it's kind of boring looking. So I'm going to go over to contrast here and I'm going to turn that up. I never really go past like 30. I'll make it like 22 on this one. You can tap it to see the before and after. So this is the original. This is now that I've edited it. So that's looking pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is raise the highlights. So make the whites a little bit brighter. Then I'm going to go over to vibrance. So vibrance and saturation, you might think they're the same thing. They are a bit different. Vibrance basically drops like the colors and their brightness down, and then saturation kind of drops. Obviously the saturation makes them more dull. That's not scientific. That's just what I'm saying. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I see with my eyes. So if I go to vibrance here and I drop it down, I always drop vibrance down pretty low. And you're going to notice on the walls, they're going to go from yellow to white on the left there. My skin tone is going to get a little bit more dull, but that's okay with me. It might not be okay with you guys. I'm going to go over to saturation now. I usually drop this around -10 max, or probably 15 maximum. So I'm going to tap the photo now. You're going to see the before, the after. So you can already see the difference that it's making while I'm editing this photo. It's making it look quite a bit better. Last thing I usually do if the photo's still looking a bit bright to me and I don't want to make it too dark, I'll go with the brightness and I'll drop it down a little bit more. You can see the blacks are getting crushed a little bit, but honestly, it's just a story. It's not a big deal. And then warmth, I'll make sure it's not too warm usually, trying to drop it down to -20 area. And then I'll go over to sharpness, or sorry, definition, and I'll raise that up to maybe 10 at the most. Let's go with 8. So you can see now I'm going to click on the photo here and you can see original is quite bright. And that is the new version right there that I've edited. So I'll click done. And now that photo is ready to be uploaded to Instagram stories. Okay, so that's how I do it with my style. Let's do it with one more photo that's not of me, but it's of an item or a subject rather. So you guys can get an idea of not as having a person in the photo all the time. If you're taking a picture of something else, like some kind of subject, I'll show you how I'd edit that one. Right here, I have a photo of my car. I actually posted this photo or a similar photo to this the other day on my story. So it's a good example. You can see this is the raw unedited version. So I'm going to go into edit here, and this one's kind of zoomed out. I think it's because I screenshotted it, so it's got some black edges on it. Anyways, I'll go to the exposure again, and I'm going to drop that down. And really, this depends on how bright the photo is taken. But for this one, I'm going to drop it down probably around similar to what the other one was that I just did. This one at minus 60. You can see as I tap it, it's looking dark. And then I'll go to contrast, like I said before. Raise that up maybe to around 22. It's already looking very, very good. Highlights, I will raise them maybe to 20. Go over to vibrance. I'm going to drop that down very low. Get rid of those greens. I don't love greens in my photos. Saturation, I will drop a little bit as well. Maybe 25, 26, 22, sure. Next thing I'm gonna do is go over to the warmth, make it less warm. So you can see we are taking, I can actually zoom this in here for you guys. We are taking quite a bit of colors out of this one, but in my opinion, it looks very, very good. I actually really like the way that's looking. And then I'm gonna go to brightness, like I showed you before, and I'm gonna drop that down a little bit, make it even darker. And we're gonna go over to definition. Just makes it more sharp in my opinion, makes the quality a little bit better looking. So you can see the before and after on that image now. I'm gonna click done, and you can see both of my edited photos here are now ready to be posted to Instagram stories. You can see they're darker, they're a little bit desat. The colors are kind of brought out of them. I like my photos a little bit more dull, a little bit more monotone. With high contrast, the darks are more deep. They look a lot better, the blacks. And I usually drop down the vibrance to make it a little bit less vibrant, obviously. So now that you're ready, this is how I go about posting them onto my story. So open up Instagram here, and I'm gonna swipe to the left, and I'm gonna swipe up. And this is one story here. Honestly, nothing I gotta do to change that. There's no like trick to making it high quality or anything. Go here and post it to my story. I'm not gonna do it. But that's how I do it. For this photo, I screenshot it. You can see it's not zoomed in all the way. I'd probably straighten it out a little bit, get it centered, and boom, that is ready to be posted as well. That's a quick video for you guys, just walking you through exactly how I would go about posting or editing and basically posting my Instagram stories so they look consistent, so I have a consistent theme and consistent niche throughout my profile whenever I post photos on my Instagram feed, post videos as reels on my Instagram feed, or I post Instagram stories. I keep everything consistent because that's what keeps people coming back for more and following you. If they see a consistent theme from the explore page, when they land on your page, they see your reels, they see your photos, they see your stories, they see your highlights on your page, it's gonna make them wanna follow you even more. It's gonna give you that better chance of getting the person to follow you. So that's why I go about making my photos, not only my photos and my videos dark, but my Instagram stories dark as well. Just gives that general theme to my profile that makes it more appealing for people to follow me. So guys, that is pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, again, make sure you join my free Discord. It is the first link in the description down below. And again, in that Discord, we have an area for just general chat. You can chat with anyone in the Discord, including myself. You can ask questions in there. I'm active in there answering questions all the time about editing photos, all that stuff, editing videos, Adobe Premiere, editing stuff in CapCut, everything like that. You can go in there, ask any questions you might have. We also have an area in there where you can submit any of your reels or photos or whatever it is. It's called edit submissions. Toss them in there, and then we have other members adding in their critiques, what they think of your videos. I'm in there adding in my thoughts, what you can do better, what looks good. So if that interests you, again, it's 100% free. You can join my Discord. It's the first link in the description down below. So anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe, drop a like on it, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. Try to post new videos similar to this every other week or every month or so. So if that interests you, again, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.